G'day guys, it's Jake here. Nothing in this video is financial advice. Please do your own research when it comes to investing. Please be sure to check out my links below, including exchanges I use and social media content that I post. Alright, let's go. So welcome to another weekly video, and we'll start this one by talking about the economic data that came in for the US as usual. And for the week, really the red news, the most important sort of news we got was non-farm payroll revisions, annual revisions, and we did get a negative 911,000 number, which is quite bad. Okay, so offstated by that many jobs shows that, the job market's softening in the US. Okay, so good to see a negative number like this. We also got PPI month over month. They producer price index, so produces inflation, seeing that it came in minus 0.1, right? So the consensus was gathering it'll increase 0.3. So inflation is actually dropping the producers for some strange reason. That was for August data, and we got August data as well for the inflation numbers that's upstream inflation. This is downstream inflation. Okay, so producers and consumers. I think on the Thursday night, we got core inflation and standard inflation, okay? So we got basically standard inflation is just mainly what the Fed looks at. And we got forecast was 2.9 and we got 2.9 as expected. So we did get an increase from previously 2.7. So inflation is going up. Month over month is going up as well. So 0.4 and 0.3 forecasted. Go there real quick and have a quick look at it. See the trend, inflation is starting to creep back up, but not aggressively, just meaningfully, just slowly, creeping up. Since April, we bottomed out 2.3, 2.4 in May, 2.7 in June, 2.7 in July. So we had flat reading, and then a jump up to 2.9 in August. So we had a nice run up here too, 2.4, September 24 to 3%. January, and then it came back down. Okay, so look, we don't know. Anything could happen. It could just fall like this. And it takes 1 to 3 months to really drop. Okay, so we could see a falling off and sort of a moderation around the 2.5% sort of level. The Fed's sort of looking at 2% as a long-term goal. So 2.9 is not too far off that. So it's not a huge concern. You start seeing a big run up in the 3s, potentially go to the 4s, and we're in trouble. But I don't think inflation is going to get that out of hand as long as the tariffs aren't too impactful. That's what really we're worrying about is the tariffs. How that's going to be a long-term thing because that'll really impact inflation numbers for consumers and producers as well. So they've got to import goods, producers from other countries, and because if America charges them a tariff, foreign countries that manufacture the goods, right? They pass on that tariff to the person importing it. And that person importing it passes it on to the consumer. So it affects, domestically affects prices. Inflation does go up. Okay, so it's a tax on importers. That's what it is. Tariff is. If people don't believe that, I think it's income for the the country. And it raises revenues. It's good it's what Trump's pushing, but it's not true at all. If you study what tariffs actually do, it's a long-term, it's devastating impacts long-term. It leads to more inflation. And it tries to encourage more domestic production and that. It's going to cost more to make those goods domestically anyway. So either way, it's going to cost more. Inflation will go up. So that is that. We'll go on to the next one. So we're looking at Bitcoin's metrics. Okay, so in terms of its risk level, it's at 0.55 down here. You got on-chain metrics, we're sort of in the mid-level as well. All up in total, everything, we're at 0.32. And social metrics, what I'll really look at the most, is at 0. Okay, so we have not seen the extremity of retail coming back yet. They've pretty much non-existent at this point in time. I don't care, even though Bitcoin's price is right up here. It's big rise up. We're still down here. Retail doesn't give it an absolute hoot what's going on with Bitcoin's price. As you see, I do care when it gets to these euphoric mania phases. It gets above the 0.8 risk. 2017 we did that. And then in 2021, obviously we get above 0.8 and got to 1 risk, basically. And we made a lower high, but it did go still above 0.9 risk. The second peak in 2021. So you want to see these sort of peaks above this risk level, 0.8. We are nowhere near that. So retail has not returned according to YouTube subscribers, YouTube views, Twitter analysts, Twitter exchanges, and Twitter L1s. And overlay ETH, it's really the same thing, okay? It's just, it's 0, okay? 0, 0, and 0. All right, so it's Bitcoin or ETH. It doesn't matter. It's just, it's overall sentiment at the moment. And yeah, interest is not there, okay? Next on is fear and greed, color-coded. So we're sitting at 52 at the moment, all right? And period. March, we had some fear levels when we had the tariff scare, okay? Really bad sort of fear, 18 around the bottom, as low as 18. We got extreme fear, but at the moment we're sort of up, prices up higher, and the fear and greed's at 52. All right, so it is quite neutral now, and nothing to really fear or too greedy about. We're sort of in the middle, so it's quite boring. Price sort of is going higher. Had this sort of low here, end of August, 1st of September, and ever since then it's been rising up. All right, so fear and greed looks pretty good, but we can see a swing either direction. Yeah, extremities, fear or greedy part of things. Okay, you got raw values as well, as on a XY axis, and seeing it. Okay, we're at 52. Yeah, there it is. And extreme levels, extreme volatility, extreme levels of greed and fear. Okay, back in here too, extreme fear. So yeah, we're at neutral. So nothing to really, be worried about too soon. That's that one. All right, Advanced Decline Index. I've looked at this one for a long time on the channel, I think, but looking at it now, and you can see in previous, one of the prior bull markets, back in the 2017 run, this was declining. Okay, as Bitcoin's price is rising, it shows that the top 100 coins, all right, are underperforming Bitcoin. It's declines, and then they outperformed on this run up. All right, mid that year, then they declined again, November, and then they had another final push higher as Bitcoin peaked out. All right, and they obviously went down more than Bitcoin in the bear market. So altcoins underperformed, top 100. They had this low here, and then they outperformed to the upside slightly, and then declined again. Okay, as Bitcoin dropped. All right, and then we had a little rise up, they outperformed, and then bang. And this rise up, they sort of slowly crept up to Bitcoin and outperformed. And they had these ups and downs, nice higher lows, higher highs, as you can see here, up to the top of the last cycle. And then ever since then, decline, lower highs, see lower lows, lows getting lower, highs getting lower, and Bitcoin's been going up and to the right. Very, just going absolutely crazy, doing great. And with all the top 100 coins underperforming on a longer term view. So they aren't catching up to Bitcoin just yet. We might be pushing up here now in the short term. Okay, get this low here, start of the month, we start pushing higher because the old Bitcoin pairs are outperforming. Okay, the short term, but this long term view needs to change. I think with monetary policy, Fed's monetary policy is quite crucial for this chart to turn around. Here, when it bottomed out here in late 2019, so at September, I think it was, so around here, we got a Fed pivot to QE. All right, it did go a little lower because Bitcoin price went down, but as soon as they bottomed here, alts outperformed Bitcoin, okay, because the monetary policy was more favorable. And obviously, after then, it underperformed. Monetary policy shifted, and obviously the market declined as well. And this period of time was a bit different as well. it was declining over a longer period, but we had more of a sideways chop. See from the bottom here, top, bottom to top, bottom to top, small sideways action. Whereas that was 2017 cycle. 2021 cycle was more alts ebb for Bitcoin, okay? Top 100. And now we're seeing not very good. When that changes, we'll have to see Bitcoin dominance, and that shifts, and monetary policy. So we're on a Bitcoin now. And so, yeah, we have bounced off this bull market support band, as I predicted first this month, and we're pushing higher. Now we're getting towards mid-month. Will we see this as resistance and go lower? That's sort of what I'm seeing. I'll sort of go to the daily, see what's happening there in the shorter term, and seeing that, we are above 50 level, the MACD on the pink line. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, we had a nice push off from this level, and it looks like you're seeing a little resistance level here. It's 117-ish. So we've tagged it. Okay, as you can see here, always be resistance, or we break higher, go up to break all-time highs from here and be a bullish month, September, or will this end of this month going in October actually result in the downside? It's be just a slight deviation above as we approach FOMC next week. And after the FOMC meeting from the Fed, we actually see a lower low going into the end of the month. We don't know what's going to happen. Time will tell. As we see this pink line as well rising, this is the 50-week SMA. Right. This is quite important. Sort of outlined in previous videos. Why is it very important? Right. Why is it very important? Because we tend to hold it, and we have this cycle. We have to hold this level, haven't gone below it. It's important to see. Shows strength. Ever since we broke through it here, okay, this is when the bull market started. All right, we haven't deviated below it. We don't want to drop below it. This is the line in the sand for this market, and as we are sitting at 97,000 now. This keeps rising and rising and rising. Eventually, you sort of see it up here, in line with what I see early October. It's not a very good straight line, but you get the idea. And 100K will be the line in the sand. All right, so I do see this coming back down to here. Unfortunately, in the short term. But the good thing is, once we get this bearishness shakeout, I do see it's exploding higher and going up to the right. Okay, straight up, breaking new all-time highs at the end of the year. It's pushing. Don't know exactly where we're going to hit the end of year targets. I'm not really a price prediction person, but it'll be up anyway, I think. Be bullish sentiment. I just see this rolling over a bit more. This MACD sort of bearish. So, because it's had this lower high, okay, as price went higher, this went lower. We go sort of smaller time frame. It does look bullish. Okay, it's crossing bullish now. But it's got to be careful. Even though it looks bullish, we got this period here, okay, early 2025, when it was bet across bullish here. See this? But it didn't break. It was false and went down, okay? So, it was, as it was pushing higher, looked like we were going to break out with the MACD. We never did, and price dropped. All right. So the MACD went to the oversold region. We crossed bullish, you can see there, and it went higher. And it's at a price. So we don't know if this is going to be a legitimate breakout, MACD, or just bounces off it and then goes back down to here, or eventually bullish. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. We don't know. Just got to monitor it. Short term, it could be, if it does break through, then we're probably looking at all-time highs coming up to this level. But whether we break it or not, or just wick it and then come back down and retest. I do think the next retest level, if we do break all-time highs in this move, this plays out, okay? I do think we're going to retest this 117 level and then go higher, all right? So there's two scenarios. We break up, retest, go higher, or we wick above this level and then go down to 100K. Another thing I sort of look out for is this sort of risk metric now. As you know, we're sitting at 53 at the moment. 53, yep. So ticking upwards now. If we do break all-time highs here and this doesn't go above this orange level, which is at basically 68, 69, it could be a lower high divergence price. So I don't want to see that happening. We'll see this breaking above. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell. Wait and see. Ethereum now. Here are the metric. Looks like it's coming up to its all-time highs. It's not far off it. Okay. We have extended quite a fair bit from its lows. We haven't had a meaningful correction since then. And its bull market support band is right down at 3,500. So if you get down to 3,500, that would be nice to check back in with the bull market support band, resetting and then going higher. I think it needs to cool off a bit and check in with it. Just, yeah, because it does it every other cycle. I can show you that too. Go on the weekly to see a bit more time frame adjustment. So back to 2021, the previous bull market. I'm going to logarithmic chart too to show you this. It's in September time frame where we are now. So we come back in and check in with the bull market support band. So we retest it and we go higher. All right. And that correction was roughly a top to bottom is a 34% correction. All right. That was that previous bull market, September. One before that in 2017. Okay. We had a retest in September, which was here, September 11th. All right. Right there. And we went higher into the final peak, right, into early that year, 2018. And the correction amount from the local high to the week bottom was 39%, as you can see there. 39% 2017 and 34% in 2021 before going higher. All right, it's important. So in the 30s, okay, as you can see there. Right. Now, at the moment, we haven't had that correction yet to the bull market support band, and we are in September. We're midway through the month. I do expect from this local high to the local, this low here is nearly a 30% correction. Okay, it's not 34 or 39 because assets getting bigger and bigger, so you can't really expect it to be as volatile. Okay, but we're not much bigger than we were in 2021. Pretty much the same. So we can correct a little bit less than this or a bit more depending on market sentiment. We don't know exactly, but as a good support level, is red candle, I was going to say purple candle, testing support level, and the bull market support band meeting up with it. I do think highly and favourable towards this outcome playing out before any parabolic moves above the all-time highs. I don't think it's going to happen just yet. Need to come in, check in with bull market support band, and then continue higher. A 30% correction seasonally, every other alt season, basically every other post-halving year has occurred. Why not now? So 30% correction is due for Ethereum before we break this all-time high durably and, then go bananas. Where we're going to go, I don't know exactly. I might do a prediction video maybe in the future, but it's once Ethereum's in absolutely blast-off mode, and it's way up here above the 5,000s, we'll make a prediction video, but not yet. And all Bitcoin pairs, quickly looking at, we are seeing a low here in mid-August, and we are shooting up. All that check back in with the bull market support band before going lower is alt ETH pairs, I should say, not alt Bitcoin pairs, alt ETH. Interesting to see. If you go back to normal mode, these lower highs all the way down. So touch the top there, and that was a chance for you to get out of alts and go to ETH. And ETH's been outperforming ever since. But yeah, whether we see a test there, I do see it's coming back down to, unfortunately, down to here. Right, it's range lows like it has done historically. I started here 2017 and back in early 2021 before that bull market, took off. So alt outperformed ETH here. They had to go to the range lows first before doing that. Okay, came back down in mid 2023. Also, 2024 as well. Now up to the top. Then we need to come back down to the bottom, then back up to the top. Where I'm seeing happening, playing out for this chart. Alt Bitcoin pairs. So this basically everything. So it's Bitcoin ETH minus USDT divided by Bitcoin. All right, and I do see this came back down in the range lows. All right, like we have done historically in 2019, 2020, 2020 as well, 2021, and 2017. So this oscillator goes up and down. Okay, you see the tops, right? The bottoms. I do see is going back down to the bottom. Has to reset first, right? Importance, crucial. Reset. Before going higher. It got really close here in June. 0.31. But yeah, we didn't get back down to 0.2s. And look, alts are oscillators against Bitcoin at best. They're not outperformers. They're underperformers or oscillators. Okay. So that's the way I look at this. And I do see this going down here and up here. Either by November or mid-October or something like that. Who knows? Sometime in that time frame. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Seeing that plays out. And really another reason why I see all Bitcoin pairs underperforming next couple of months, okay, going into November, is this is quite low, right? And I do see this breaking above the bull market support band. And yeah, we're seeing big drop off. We can see a revision back up to probably 101 level, maybe. And the MACD is suggesting this. The weekly we're seeing some momentum going upwards. And yeah, that's sort of validating. I reckon we can see a bit more of a push up in this metric. Wait and see what happens there. But yeah, we're overdue for definitely a pull up. I think this will probably occur after the rates get cut in September. So it's coming up next week. FOMC meeting. You should see a stronger dollar and underperformance of alt Bitcoin pairs. Okay. Because you want to really see the alt seasons that you've got know and love. The alts that perform Bitcoin are these seasons here, right? This is when you want to be investing in alts against Bitcoin. It fell off a cliff. Right, this is a 2021 cycle. Breaks this trend line and bam. Same as the 2017 run. See, it falls off a cliff. Breaks the trend line. That was the alt season there. Okay, so you got two alt seasons there. And we still like we're in one now, but it's still Bitcoin's out. It's had dominance drop. Bitcoin dominance has dropped. Alts are outperforming Bitcoin. But this doesn't feel like alt season quite yet because monetary policy is still restrictive. Okay, and yeah, I still see a reversion back up before a continuation, and then we finally get alt season. Okay, this is a fake alt season. This is not what I truly see. And you can see Bitcoin dominance has fallen down. It looks like we are, starting it now, but it's, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're getting a MACD undervaluation here, so you might see it pull up as dominance actually does make it final leg up, maybe a bit earlier than that, around November or something like that, and then come down. So what I want to see is a reversion back up to fake people out, and then bam, that's your alt season, right? You want to see this really drop off a cliff like this. See how this drops off a real big cliff? That's what it is. Now, this one here, 2017, and then 2021. This is when monetary policy got restrictive, okay, and Bitcoin dominance went up. The opposite was here, was monetary policy was actually favorable and easing, and then alt outperformed Bitcoin. Same as this cycle here. It's more easing cycle, okay? QE, QT, Bitcoin outperforms, right? And we haven't seen QE yet. It's still QT. All right, so that's important to know. Fed hasn't changed the balance sheet, it's still reducing it. You want to see a change in balance sheet, and then bam. All right, so that's that one. And I think that's got the stock market as well. S&P 500 seeing a big rally. I do see this coming back down to some to retest these highs, maybe back in early in the year. 6100, nice fresh pullback. Probably see something like a 7% pullback. Check in with the bull market support band before going higher. All right, so this looks like it's a bit overbought, and we need a sort of a cool off period, and then bullishness. Okay, this looks too overbought at the moment. It heated, needs a cool off, and then bam. It's had a big rally. Okay, the S&P has rallied quite a fair bit from its low in April to its high. We've done a 36% rally. A nice correction would just be healthy. Reset the markets before going higher. Okay, right. So that's what I see happening for the S&P, and then Same as the other indices too. You know, you've got the Russell low caps. Okay, Russell 2000. We are near the all-time highs. Okay, from 2021, 2024, we nearly broke it. Basically wicked above it, as you can see here, and we're approaching it very soon. Whether we see a correction just before we break above, we see a correction first back to its bull market support band. I don't know where it's going to be. I did mark a level 21.48. We come back down to here or slightly above it. All right, and it'll check in with the bull market support band. Probably a bit sooner than that. Who knows when? And I do see this breaking above. And this is your alt season too. You want to see this break above. Okay, if the small stocks start outperforming and doing really well and just blasting to the upside, then the altcoins will be, because they're higher risk than these small stocks, will start outperforming. Okay, you see here, breaks above late 2020, and then boom, you had your alt season. 2021, alt outperformed Bitcoin, and stock market did really well. Small caps, same as this. This is late 2016, boom, breakthrough. The 2017 bull market, there you go, boom. Bitcoin topped here too, notably. Okay, and the 2013, so it was more just Bitcoin on its own. As soon as small caps broke through their previous highs, you can see here, and going back even further, to here, 2007. It took so long to really break through, and then we broke through here, this big weekly candle. Boom, Bitcoin did extremely well. Put one here. Okay, so that's 2013, 2017, and 2021. Right, so breaking these highs, yeah? You can see there the line. It's resistance, and we broke through. Now, we haven't broke through yet. All right, we haven't broke through this resistance level. We want to break through, we will see a massive alt season. That hasn't occurred yet. All right, so hold on. This takes a little bit longer than previous log. It's been a year longer than expected, but you got to be patient, okay? So that is that, and I think I've covered pretty much what I wanted to cover. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed this video. Just going over different things, different metrics, fear and greed, the ADI, saying the 100 top cryptocurrencies are underperforming Bitcoin this cycle. Looking at, other sort of things in regards to price action, old Bitcoin pairs, dollar, stock market as well. A bit of everything, so the mixture, trying to cover all bases. I do see correction coming, fortunately for the markets. It's not a good thing to say, but we've had a big rally for the stock markets, and Bitcoin, not really. I sort of have since the April lows anyway. We'll talk from the April lows. Yes, we've had a nice move up for Bitcoin, and so the S&P, same as Ethereum, it's done even better. So that's really pushed even higher, and it performed all of them. So I do see quite a significant correction from its local high to a $3,500 price level, which will coincide with the bull market support band, 20-week moving average, and continue from there. And everything will line up, stock markets, everything will correct, of course, risk off mode after the Fed cuts rates. And then I think when the labour market starts to ease and people see that, okay, the labour market's not that much in trouble, we'll just sort of see a scare, but we don't see a huge scare, not too much softening, and people go risk on again. But I think the concern is shifting from the inflation narrative, still in the twos, okay, to unemployment rate, the job market, because that really needs the Fed to react. It's the only way you can get rates down is by seeing a softening labour market, and then responding to that with even monetary policy side of things with their quantitative easing. That returns or not, we don't know, and depends on the numbers they feel comfortable with, or they just stop QT, and the QT stops, and that's enough risk on assets to do well. And it's just seeing that data come in, take it month by month. It's a slow process, but I do see eventually it being a pretty crazy risk on period coming up. Just got to see the uncertainty, even tariffs, seeing how that progresses and what's going to happen there, the outcome of that is, and then go from there. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please smash the like, comment your thoughts below. Be sure to check out my links below. Yeah. Also subscribe, stay updated, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.